Okay, I'll do chapter 2, but then I think I'll probably have to pause it. We're standing on a thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead and in a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform, maybe. Why are we in a subway tunnel? I don't think it's a subway tunnel. Dennis, what do you think this is? Looks like we're waiting for the D train, Dennis says with a deadly sounding cackle. Also, the ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound. Something like a faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here? Dennis asks. Not at all. This is what I think to myself, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. Yeah, we'll be fine. I don't know about this. We're too far in to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we'd slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we've got to find the rest of our crew. They should still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured, albeit weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can go either left or right. Left is slightly lit, and the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly I jerk my head to the right, and as I hear an unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis. My eyes strain to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe. It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait for a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left, flickering lights, indicating we'll be at least able to see, and a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but we also heard footsteps in that direction. Let's find the machinery. Yeah, seems smart to stay in the light. Left it is. I'm assuming everyone's dead. Me and Dennis are probably the only ones left. Maybe it was somebody that we knew on the right. But I feel like we'd also get murdered because it was in the darkness. Problem is, it also could have just been a monster thing. So I'm gonna go this way because this feels like we're gonna find out what's going on, as well as there's lights here, so we're safe. As we head left, the lights ahead are like a beacon in the dark, luring us forward. Someone left the lights on for us, Dennis said, trying to be funny, but creeping me out instead. I wonder if that's a good or a bad thing, I say. As we near the lights, I hear the hum of machinery grow louder, but it doesn't sound like any machine I've heard before. As the light increases, I use it to take inventory of Dennis and his condition. While the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that is soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says. Let's walk deep into the deep tunnel that has no business being here. Now, fully stepping into the light, I notice the sound of the machinery is coming from an area on the left side that is protected by a guardrail. Wisps of bright light dance on the walls as they leak out from whatever is below. I also notice a posted sign that says danger, severe radiation poisoning threat. Step closer and look. It's worth taking a look. Walk over to the guardrail and peer down below. This is where that strange hum is coming from. Further down in the dark, there's something that I can only assume is some sort of power generator. There are tanks, pipes, and valves, sure, but there's just something odd about it. Looks like it doesn't belong here. None of this does. Hey, Dennis says, nudging me. Do you see that? He gestures to the main pipe coming out of the top. As my eyes trance along, it just disappears into a black floating mass. I rub my eyes and look again. The pipe goes up and into a sphere, but within the sphere is the deepest darkness I've ever seen, and the area around it seems twisted. It's almost like a rip in space. I don't know much about whatever this thing is, Dennis says, but I don't like being near it. I agree, and we take off down the tunnel again, eager to be away from the pipe and those lights. As we start walking, I notice another structure coming into view up ahead. This is crazy. I hope it has a good ending. Oh, it probably has multiple endings. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform. Okay. As we head further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to an open or large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense and creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we walked into. I noticed that Dennis seems confident though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what, Dennis says? This is ridiculous, I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. It's okay, take it easy, you can do this. I'm not the one with a gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decide to cut him some slack. Damn, boss, I'm sorry, he says. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest, I ask as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway. Exiting the platform area. Long hallway exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize those red emergency lights might be on for someone else who is actually supposed to be here. Stay quiet. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone at the fact that we're strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream in this empty place, is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret. And if it is supposed to be a secret and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. While I'm pondering this, a wave of nausea comes over me out of nowhere, and I lurch forward, vomiting all over the floor. Whoa, is all Dennis mutters and as he instinctively steps away. My insides feel like they're trying to escape. I put my hand out looking for a wall to lean on. Are you okay, Dennis asks, finally pulling himself together from the surprise. Yeah, I barely gasp out. After a minute, the feeling subsides. But where in the hell did that come from? Was it that weird power generator? I finally collect myself and stand back up, praying I never have to feel like that again. Let's keep going, I say, wiping my nose with my sleeve. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. Whoa. This is really creepy. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not right about it. This is the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming into the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks. Then he asks the question that has been on my mind since I found the little building in the woods. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise, and then unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Oh, the lights came on. Without warning, the facility jolts to life. The red glow of emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright and white fluorescent ones. The mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow, the power being back on urges us on. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just a power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the light sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long with two main doors. One door opens to a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and paper strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis thumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark, brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down to the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. Uh-oh, he's gonna die. Let's enter the lab. Maybe there's something in there that can help him. Walking inside, I see small vials and glass containers held in a clear glass carafe. Everything is either glass or silver, and I constantly feel like I'm dirtying the place up. I notice several test tubes in glass cases, as well as some sort of tube system that seems to have clear fluid trapped inside of it. In the back corner, I find a laptop in screensaver mode. Let's look at the laptop. I don't want to mess with anything I don't know. I hit the enter key and a plain gray background pops up. There are several icons and folders to choose from. I click on a folder labeled Test 1.5 Ethos. A few documents are filled with formulas and names I mostly don't understand, but there are some things that are easy to understand, things that make my blood go cold. Subject 6, cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both? Ideas for new delivery modes, spherical, liquid, question mark, induced comatose state first, TerraCore Company, possible plutonium supplier. Okay, let's look at the test tubes real quick. Can't help but check out the test tubes. They're all filled with varying green and light blue fluids. One of them looks to have some sort of glowing dirt resting in the bottom of it. Another holds what looks like a grasshopper submerged in liquid. Only it's the strangest grasshopper I've ever seen. At first it looks like it's expanding and contracting like a blowfish, but then it contracts so much it vanishes completely. As I look closer, it springs back into existence in a completely different test tube, and I'm embarrassed when I actually jump back. I take another look around the lab, trying to piece together what might have been taking place here. I smell some sort of chemical in the air, and it makes me think that someone has used this lab recently. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor. But I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing down around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Oh my god. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young with messy dark hair. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He then has a look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It's almost aimed directly at my head. Put hands up in the air. Put my hands up in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrender state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. Who are you and how did you get here? The man asks harshly. Before he can answer, he continues speaking. I don't recognize you. If you're here, you would have had to sneak by the security mics in the entrance hall. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I see something in his eyes that unsettles me. He is scared, but there's something else. We're nobody, don't shoot us. As long as you don't give me a reason, I won't. But until I know I can trust you, this barrel's going to stay aimed right where it is. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Was it you? Who sent you? We don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone? Are there others with you? The armed man asks, thrusting a gun in my face. How the hell did we get in this situation, I think to myself. If only I had left that damn ringing noise alone, we wouldn't be here. I'm not really sure if we want to give this guy information yet. We don't know anything about him, then again, he might have answers. Let's just say we're looking for a crew. We have other crew members that we can't find, I say. A crew, he asks, seeming confused. If this man thinks we're nuts, there's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get in here? I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. The man's expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that's leveled less than a foot away from my face. To add to the stress of the moment, another bout of nausea starts to bubble up inside of me, making me dizzy. Maybe going so close to that radioactive machine in the tunnel wasn't such a good idea after all. It takes all I have not to puke and not to stay focused on the muzzle in front of me. Please put the gun down. He calmly asked the man to back down. The only way I'm putting the rifle down is after I've blown your brains out. Whoa. But Daddy sticks the muzzle of the gun in my face. It's a childish move, a plain ground tactic at best, but it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. I'm the hero. I'm stepping between Dennis and the gun. If anyone's dying, it's me. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I do my best to swallow down my fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say, but we're here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says, but now that the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what, I ask. But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backwards with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he might be a little bit crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? Yeah, I'm the president. No, what the hell are you talking about? No, I say we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, the man says, but I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. His grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble, we're just as confused as you are. Then in a movement so fast that I just about missed it, Dennis lunges forward. I have no idea how he is moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger, the booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes a clanging noise of the round to tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I've not been shot. I look to the floor to see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed, in shock for a moment as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall I could use as a bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Punch him. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face, a reminder to how close I had come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard-stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often, never really. I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. The man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he's basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him. A desire that builds with each second I look at him. Let's not give in to this weird feeling. I feel like the feeling is what this facility's doing to me. So I'm gonna stand up and step back. Took it easy on the man. I don't know this guy. He's definitely out now, no threat. Or at least that's what I think. But he surprises me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. My eyelid swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. I feel like, or it seems like this last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back and ready myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches onto the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me and I take it with shaky hands. I can't believe he stepped between me and that gun. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had known no such thing. Still, thanks man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? Dennis asks. We've come this far and I want answers, a sense that Dennis does too. I take a hard look at the man before I reply. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, I say, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly. He leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope it doesn't get so bad that it affects my sight. Oh, it will. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far. I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway until we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us. Steel sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. This is getting weird. Before I get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name, I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be, I ask. No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I say. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, he says, but we can't go down there. What's on level 2? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside a classified government facility, he says. Makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure our government would want you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. What? And not even a thank you. Just a bunch of restricted access room that I'm only allowed to go into with a freaking chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. Wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get into for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. Then again, he had come at us with the rifle. Makes me think that things could have gone terribly wrong in this place. Or things have gone terribly wrong in this place. And that explosion in the woods, or whatever the hell happened, might be linked to it all. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. Ask for help. Look, I say, it hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on to find our crew, to survive. I know this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have been blown to hell. Can't you just help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. This Marcus guy is gonna be an issue, I know it. It's exceptionally well lit and looks like it's made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like the elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here, I ask. We can't leave. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him, and I can see that much in his face. Slowly we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill this space. What can you do? Marcus bristles at the question, but I think it's fair. I mean, he's not allowed to unlock the doors or even get medical supplies. Why keep a guy around who can't even grab a band-aid without permission? Without me, nothing would get done here, Marcus answers me. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn the computers on without help. Top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. What goes on here? Marcus shakes his head. You may as well shoot me, I can't tell you. Why not? It's beyond classified, as the things I know don't even cover the start of it. What does that mean? I ask, starting to get irritated. It means that even if I wanted to tell you what sort of work is done here, I don't even know enough about it. How big is this place? It's a government facility of the highest secrecy, a research facility. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that? I ask. This is a Black Ops graveyard, he replies. Even the CIA doesn't know this place exists. What knocked the lights out? It seems like some sort of power outage. That's all I know. There was an outage, and then... Then what? Dennis asked weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? I asked. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors, and it happened and everything went dead. It took no more than a minute or so. I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by... something. Tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on the backup systems. But what I saw... What? I asked, feeling sharp fear worm its way into my guts. Well, what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. I think whatever it is still down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place? Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place, just in case, you know. Just in case of what? He opens his mouth to answer. The elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away, without a word. He makes his exit, heads directly for a glassed-in room that's filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up, and as we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loading guns and emergency vaults in every single room? The kind of government facility that's testing on monsters? Or things that are extremely dangerous that they can't control? You know what? I'm gonna do another chapter because I'm interested. I might end up finishing it depending on how long it takes, but we'll see. I'm interested. We ignored the warning sign, looked at the glowing reactor. We're stupid. That thing's gonna be what killed us. Yeah, selflessness. I always gotta play with selflessness in these games. That's how you save people.